Hello and welcome to another LeetCode solution video. This is problem number 54, Spiral Matrix. For this problem, we're given an m by n matrix. Return all elements of the matrix in spiral order. For example 1, we're given an input matrix of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And our output would be 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 8, 7, 4, 5. And visually looking at the matrix, we go across the top, down the last column, back across the last row, and up the first column, and then we repeat that. For example 2, we're given a matrix of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and our output would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12, 11, 10, 9, 5, 6, 7. And this is because we're following the same spiral. Go across the first row, down the last column, back across the last row, up the first column, and then across the next row. Let's go through an example. For this example, our input matrix is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And for our solution, we're going to do 4 things to our matrix. The first is we're going to take our first row and add it to our output. Then we'll check to see if there's any remaining rows and columns. And if there are, we'll append the last element of each row to our output, starting from top to bottom. Next, we'll check to see if there's any remaining rows. And if there are, we'll add the last row to our output in reverse order. So starting from the last element in the row to the first. And finally, we'll check to see if there's any remaining rows and columns in the matrix. And if there are, we'll append the first element of each row from bottom to top, so in reverse order. And as we're doing this, we're going to be popping all of the values we're adding to our output from our matrix so that we can see what we have left after we do each of these actions. And once we do all 4 of these actions, we'll check to see if our matrix still exists. And if it still exists, then we keep looping through our matrix following the same 4 steps. So for this example, this is our matrix laid out visually. And the first thing we'll do is add the first row to our output. And when we're adding these values to our output, we want to remove them from our matrix. So we've done 1, 2, 3, so we can remove them. So now we have 4, 5, 6 left. So we'll do our second step. We check to see if we have any remaining rows and columns, which we do. So we'll add all of the last elements of all our rows to our output. So now our output is 1, 2, 3, 6. And since we've used our 6 value, we can now remove it from our matrix. So now our remaining matrix is 4, 5. And we'll do our third step. So we'll check to see if there's any remaining rows, which we have 1. And we'll add all of the elements of our last row in reverse order to our output. So since we only have 1 row, we're just going to be adding this row. And we'll be adding them in reverse order. So we'll do 5, then 4 to our output. And now our output is 1, 2, 3, 6, 5, 4. And we've used our 4 and our 5 in our matrix, so we can remove them. And now we can do our fourth step. And we'll check to see if there's any rows or columns left in our matrix. Since there's none left, we can just output our output value of 1, 2, 3, 6, 5, 4. Let's jump into the code. The first thing we want to do is define our output value. Next, we'll want to loop through our matrix as long as our matrix exists. And now in our looping, we'll go through our 4 steps. The first thing we'll do is append our first row to our output. And once we use a value from our matrix, we're removing it, so that's why we're using the pop function. Next, we'll do our second step. We'll check to see if there's any remaining rows or columns left in our matrix. And if there are, we'll add the last element of each remaining row to our output value. Now we'll move on to our third step, which is checking to see if there's any remaining rows in our matrix. If there are any remaining rows, we'll add the elements of the last row to our output in reverse order. And now we'll do our fourth and final step, which is check to see if there are any remaining rows and columns in our matrix. And if there are, we'll traverse and append the first element of each row in reverse order, starting from the last row to the first row to our output value. And those are the 4 steps we'll do each time we loop through our matrix. So now we can just return our output value. And that's it for the code, so let's run this. All test case passed, so let's submit. Our solution was accepted, so that's it for this problem. If you like this video and want to see more content like it, make sure to check out my channel. Thanks for watching.